and you put me onto a fantastic company. Now, I don't know how this came up. I think it's probably something to do with your love of hemp, isn't it?
Well, it's a combination of things. Hemp, a part of it, but I discovered the hemp on this particular product because I was trying to find sustainable clothing that was Portuguese made, or at least Portuguese companies, and relatively small independent companies. So I found this, because Facebook knows what you're thinking, it'll throw up an ad in its algorithm when you haven't even looked for it. Yes. Oh, hemp shoes. How did that come in? Okay. Anyway, 8000Kicks was one company. So I checked them out and ultimately purchased a pair of shoes. I sent you a photo of my shoes, by the way, on WhatsApp.
I will put them on the screen now. Yeah, very good. Because you saw me featuring 8000Kicks in the.
I saw that. I said, okay, well, here's an opportunity for me to share this picture that nobody really ever wants to look at.
Well, do you know what? I think it's very difficult photographing black shoes, mainly because they look like black shoes. And there's nothing that very visually appealing. There's no high heel. There's no shiny bits. They're very dark. And that must be a photographer's nightmare to do a black shoe properly. It's probably known in the industry as a black shoe moment, isn't it?
It could be. Well, and when you're photographing a black textile like hemp, it absorbs all the light. There's no reflection on it. It's just flat. So if you put it on a black background, it would just disappear.
Yes.
Anyway, yes, I did notice the photographer critic in me on that one said, you didn't get the lid off your left foot. No.
Are you being distracted by this person here? And have you ever thought yourself?
If I look at that, I can't talk. So I have to.
I'm looking at. There's a lot going on, isn't there?
Yes, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, he's very good at that. He's very good at walking on. I dare say he's got some hemp shoes on. Very good at walking on the cable drum. There are all sorts going on in the picture, but I'm going to let it run. It's good TV, James, while we're chatting.
It probably suits. Well, I don't know if it suits or hinders an ADHD mind. For me, it's just confusing.
Probably
like I pretty much focus on one thing at a time, and anything that interrupts that just completely. It's like,
right.
Can I still talk? Yes. Just don't look at the moving stuff.
Well, I think this warrants us maybe having a little bit of a chat. I thought I dispatched one of the flies here, but it's fly season when they're quite drunken and causing trouble. Oh, did I just get him with a backhand there?
That sounded like a zap.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, it looks as though Portugal are not afraid to use vertically challenged people in Christmas parades. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. But here is the documentary evidence anyway. I thought at first it was a funeral procession for one of their circus performers, because that unicycle looks ominously laid flat there, doesn't it, in a parade? And you're thinking it's what he would have wanted. I don't know quite what's happening here, but should we roll a bit more VT here?
Why not?
Yes. Well, hi. Maybe he gets on the unicycle later. I don't know. That just looks a bit ominous to me, the unused unicycle in a public performing space there.
Well, you do have a very vivid imagination. So,
no question about that. You and me both, I think,
yes.
With that. And we will come back to hemp trainers in just a moment, because that's an amazing company, James, that you discovered there. And I've got us a Gumper discount. I think we've got 10% off for us at 8000Kicks.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, they're currently running a deal. I think, as I used to tell my young sons who always wanted to buy something because it was on sale, and they get very excited about it, I said, boys, there's always something on sale. Always. So being on sale isn't necessarily a reason to make a purchase.
Yeah, there are shops in London that are constantly where it's on sale, massive discounts. And it's never not like that.
Yeah, well, it's a sales strategy. Let's just say they cost $49.95 and say, ooh, on sale for $25.95.
Yes, yeah.
When they actually cost $25.95.
Well, over on the Portugal Club, however, James, Antonio F told us that the prices do have to be advertised in a certain place for a certain amount of time to truly qualify for that sales vocabulary, a choice of words here in Portugal for some consumers.
Yeah, well, and I heard on this show someone said, those EVA sales, where no EVA for these days. Someone said, well, no, just pay attention to the prices before that goes on, and then notice that the prices with no EVA go up. And it's like, okay, but they don't call it a sale. They just say no tax.
Right.
And technically, it would be accurate. We're not charging you tax. We're just charging you the same price as if we were charging you tax.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Well, be wary. But I guess if you wanted a pair of 8000Kicks trainers, we can get you 10% off, and maybe that backpack as well that they do. And we've done an affiliate deal with them, so it's win-win-win all round.
Nice. Well, I'm happy that I could. I'm assuming that was a function of you knowing through me about them, and then you contacting them. Yes,
it's come together.
Great.
It's come together beautifully.
Love it when that happens. Well, and went the opposite with Ishtu. I heard about that from you, and I now own a pair of trousers from Ishtu. So
you did,
So the same thing is looking for sustainable clothing or products in general, made by independent Portuguese companies.
Fantastic. So, that's what I love about Ishto. It didn't go down terribly. I think Peter was quite critical of the Ishto, but it ticks all the boxes you just gave there, didn't it? Some well-sourced fabrics, beautifully put together here in Portugal.
Fair trade. I mean, they're not.
Trade, yeah, you're going to expect to invest a little bit more with something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And part of my thinking is, well, these are going to last the rest of my life, so why not?
Yeah, indeed.
I mean, and it's not the joke for me is that, I'm hoping I'll get another 30 years. So
yes, and then they can be part of your legacy. They're so well made.
That's right.
Bom dia, Filomena's here. Alegria, bom dia, alegria. Beijinhos. Oh, James.
Obrigado.
Look at that. That's my third Portuguese compliment. Yesterday, I was very proud of Carlitos. Muito bem. Speaking in Portuguese. Well done, Carlitos. Yeah. And it wasn't just because you were there, Filomena, because I was in the back of my mind as I was walking down the seafront with Filomena, and I was seeing some of my Portuguese friends, and I was going, olá, bom dia, tudo bem? And mais ou menos chuck in a few extra bits.
Coisas is always a good one.
Filomena's watching me. Yeah, pois, coisas. It's obviously worked, but no, I was doing it because you were there, Filomena, that's for sure. But I was also enjoying it, and the words were coming out. It was fantastic. So thank you for that very kind observation and feedback there. Think of the price of clothing. Yes, in terms of cost per wear, which makes shoes such good value, doesn't it? The amount of wear you get out of shoes, not for the upfront price. Very good. Yeah, that is a really good idea. Were you in the trade? Is that what you used to tell people?
Well, and I think people are kind of disconnected from the fact that if you're wearing affordable, well, that's a broad range, inexpensive clothing, it's probably at the cost of somebody else. Children or indentured servitude or, slave labor or people being taken advantage of and not getting fair prices for the raw materials, whatever it is. That's the only way you can keep the actual cost of these things down, that and or poorly made. So there's quality involved in that.
Someone or something is paying the price somewhere in the chains, aren't they? Not in Portugal, however, because our minimum wage has gone up by a phenomenal €50 a year. Don't spend it all at once.
Woo.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, slowly but surely. Thank you for that, Peter. Right. Now, let's have a look at these. I think we've got a very, again, I can put a video on while we're chatting, and hopefully it's not too distracting for either of us, James, although I suspect it probably will be. Yes. Good luck with that. Now
I don't know how that works with listening. I know for me, if I'm watching a video and there's visuals and there's text, it's very difficult for me to keep up. But
yes, I'm aware that I might be robbing you of. Oh, look, the co-founder here is hilarious.
Yeah, and that's his mother, and she's one of the co-founders of this company. So I think that's pretty fantastic too.
She's a legend, and I think we need to hear her speak. Oh, here we go.
Hello guys, my name is Bernardo and this is my co-founder Otilia.
Hello.
And these are the world's first waterproof hemp backpacks.
Isn't she great? And this is the Kickstarter video for the hemp backpack. I mean, they are mostly famous for the shoes, are they not, James?
Well, that's where they started, but they were in the process of introducing the backpack, which is actually a pretty amazing backpack. The thing with hemp too is that I believe that it's naturally non-absorbent, so it's waterproof. Like I didn't believe it because it's a fabric. I said, oh, my feet are going to get wet if I go out in the rain or something. Yes. And it just beads up and rolls off the shoe. It's pretty amazing.
And they've doubled up on that with their proprietary, you say it, man, proprietary waterproofing system as well.
Okay, and then, so they add to that, yeah.
They did. It's a really good-looking product. Now, this is, I think his name is Umberto, is it? Umberto Noguera. Now, he's a hemp specialist. When we were younger, a hemp specialist was a different kind of person, weren't they? They were not somebody standing in a field looking at the quality of hemp. They were probably slumped in a corner late at night in a party. Anyway, carry on. Umberto Noguera there.
Well, and this is an opportunity for me too, because you see me, supporting hemp all over the place. If you're on Facebook or watch this show, and I have an opportunity, yes, I really want to point out, because so many people continue to associate hemp with marijuana, and it is not the same. I mean, it's the same family, and yes, it has a little tiny bit of chemical similarities to marijuana. So if you smoked a bale of hemp, you might feel a little dizzy, but it's not like you're smoking
really sick.
Yeah, exactly. You're not smoking weed if you're trying to smoke hemp. And in fact, because of how marijuana and hemp pollinate and regenerate, hemp actually kills, not literally kills the plant, but substantially reduces the value of a marijuana crop. So rather than pulling up or trying to burn marijuana crops, what the legal authorities should be doing is throwing a bunch of hemp seeds out there. That'll ruin it. It's like that marijuana will be essentially worthless over the years. Plus, it's an annual crop. It regenerates to, it grows to 2 meters or more. It produces more fiber than wood does for paper. As you can see, it's used for cloth. They can get essential oils and the medical applications through the chemicals that they can extract. This isn't hemp. That's marijuana in terms of that. But there's so many things that can be done with hemp, including bricks for building homes and concrete. It's like, why aren't we doing this? Why do we continue to, in Portugal, have, well, it's hard to get rid of the eucalyptus now that it's here and that the industry is established, because apparently it's a different process in extracting the fiber, but it's such a more sustainable way of doing the things that we're doing anyway. It's like, let's get it converted. Let's start making use, not just of hemp, but of other things that can be equally as well. I saw a video today in Singapore. Apparently they're recycling all their plastic and making asphalt out of it. That's more than asphalt, all kinds of things. It's pretty amazing to see how they recycle and regenerate garbage. They don't have garbage heaps because they clean it up every day, and they take it immediately to where it gets reconstituted or recycled into whatever gets recycled into. Repurposed. Yeah.
Well, thank you for making the case there. You are a proud owner of the shoes, as is Colin. I think Colin's here this morning. He likes the shoes. There's yours, modeled by you, James.
By me. Those are my shoes on my feet.
With a right foot and a left foot, not like the Portugueser. You've got one.
That's right.
And the link to them, if you want to find out more, it helps everybody concerned if you use our affiliate link there. And I'll pop the 10% discount code up in the Portugal Club as well later on. There's all sorts going on in the chat, James. And Tig is ready to join us as well. She's got a cat with her behind the scenes there. It's Bring Your Cat to Work week. Just a couple of comments here about the hemp and the connected conversation there. Big timber and paper companies like the Hearst Corporation. The Hearst had they were a Californian family, weren't they? Hearst, what was that big house of theirs?
They called it a castle. Hearst Castle.
Hearst Castle, yeah, obviously.
In Big Sur on the California coast.
I went there. Had an economic interest in limiting competition from it. That's part of it. There was the most amazing and effective propaganda campaign against hemp, wasn't there? Which is what you're speaking of, complaining of, which lasts to this day. I think it was all about the reefer madness, wasn't it, in those days? Which
Well, they tied hemp to marijuana, just as they've tied socialism to communism and other things that that does this, advertisers, propagandists, whoever they are, who's putting these things together, say, ooh, if we connect hemp with marijuana, then we can criminalize hemp or make it a controlled product, even though it has no real value. But
it will stop children smoking buildings, won't it? DuPont had an interest in keeping hemp illegal due to its development of petrochemical paints and synthetic fibers like nylon. And you will have seen in that video there was a shot of Henry Ford, because I think one of his first prototype cars was made out of hemp as well, until everything changed and we went for oil instead of hemp, didn't we? Well,
and sailing and navigation for hundreds of years was based on hemp fiber. The ropes that don't rot, the big strong ropes that keep ships from pulling away from the dock are made out of hemp. The as I understand it, the first American flag was a hemp fabric, so hemp was big until these big changes around the turn of the 20th century.
Yes, indeed. Right. And I know you could go on talking about this all day. It's a very favorite subject of yours. I think the last word on it for the time being, and thank you for your contributions in the chat there from T-Duck and from Bob, who's here this morning as well. Thank you, Bob, taking us to Iowa this morning. And Jackie, final word for the moment. We'll bring Tig on in just a moment with Little Puss, I think, as well, who's still here for the moment. Anyway, I tell you what, as soon as we switch the camera on, the cat will disappear. It's like, don't work with children or animals. And let's see if that's true here this morning. Hemp is a cousin of skunk. Hemp is good for its fibers, nothing else.
Yes, I believe that's true. Yeah. I tied a bunch of stuff that has to do with the cannabis industry and health and all those oils and other things. That was all cannabis. It was not hemp. But
good. Well, I think we've mentioned skunk and cannabis and marijuana enough now to get us banned from YouTube. So thank you very much, everybody, for your help with that. Give a nice big round of applause.